day one, when we started dating, I want to be a mom. And that didn't scare me off then, and it's still not scaring me off now. And so, you know, before we came up here, I kind of said jokingly to Gigi, I said, you know, wouldn't it be so God is if we go to this place, you know, you quit your job and we come up here to Short Creek and we drink the water and we end up pregnant and having our own kid. And she was like, don't tease. I was like, that would so be God, because that would be a testimony of God still works miracles. Yeah. You know, waiting for 5 years, waiting for a kid, and then God waits till we get into a place where people doubt who God is, doubt that his faithfulness. People are struggling with the belief that God even cares about them or sees them. And I said, wouldn't that be crazy if God just gives us that story, that testimony that, you know, we were in that place. We felt that God, does God still see us? Does God still hear us? Does he know that we want a kid? Yes, he knows. And so, you know, and then when Gigi just kind of delivered the news and said, hey, I'm pregnant, I was like, no, you're kidding me. And I was distraught for a couple of days. I don't think I was useful to anybody, just because I was just in a daze of disbelief and it was excitement. It was a lot of excitement. And so, yeah, I'm kind of rambling just because I'm really excited.
So when we tell people that we're pregnant, or that I'm pregnant, and that it was a surprise, they kind of look at me kind of strange, like, how do you not know? And
know how that works?
Yeah, someone actually said, do you not know how that works? And I said, no, that's not what I mean, because we had waited so long. And, you know, 5 years might not seem long for some people. Some people may have waited a lot longer for a dream in their heart to come true. You know, you think about things in the world's view, and you think about biology and your health and different things, and when it comes to, you know, having a baby, that if you wait a certain amount of time, but I mean, God can do anything that he wants to do, and he has to get us in a place to where we're fully reliant on him. And, you know, we look back and we know, and I knew then that for God to be able to get us to where we are now, and to be able to be missionaries, we couldn't have had a child at the time before. You know, it would not have, it just was not in God's plan, and it just, we would have been able to do all the things that we've done, and to get us to the place where we're at spiritually, and to move forward. So we're just so thankful for God's faithfulness. And like Ryan said, we've seen it time and time again in so many different areas of our lives. And when God answers a prayer, it does cause you to stop and be reflective and think about all the other prayers that he's answered.
Right.
And, you know, we never want to stop thinking about everything that God has done for us. And we, you know, we should take that time to be reflective, especially when we're waiting on something, and we're waiting, and so impatiently waiting most of the time. But we have to have that thankfulness and a grateful heart, and remember everything that he's done and where he's brought you from. And that's hard to do sometimes. But since we have gotten the news, you know, I've just been thinking about how faithful God is and everything that he's done for us. And, you know, he's made a way for everything, and he's not going to stop now. So we worry about having income and having a baby and different things, and we'll pray that God, you know, if he wants us to do a side business or do a job, that he will give that to us, that he will inspire us. Yeah. He's going to make a way regardless of the situation. And whatever happens with the baby, we know that God's going to be faithful through this situation, through the pregnancy, through everything. That God is going to be there no matter what happens. And so we're just so excited to share this with you and share our story. Every time I tell somebody that we're expecting, I always say, you know, how good God is and how long it's been that we've waited. And I know that what God's done in our life is going to touch somebody else's life and give them hope and things for the future, because what God does for one, he'll do for somebody else. And it may not do it for you the same way he did it for us. Mm-hmm. And he won't do it for us the same way he does it for someone else. And but we can't look at others and what they have and what we don't have. And we just know that God's plan is individual and very personalized.
Yeah. To carry off of that, with God personalizing this dream of ours and giving us this blessing, us having a child, you know, we look at it and, oh, it would have made so much sense that, you know, if it happened years ago, you know, God waited till he got us in a position where we had to rely on him, where we have to be dependent on him. And as for me, and I know Gigi's this way too, that's where we want to exist. That's where we want to be. We want to be completely 100% dependent on God. And we just want to share this story with you and dedicate this video as an offering, as a praise and worship to God, to glorify him and his name, and to share that testimony with other people that God's going to do it for you. God's going to give you that dream just to hold in. You know, again, 5 years for us felt like eternity. It may, you know, we've seen other people have to wait 40 years, you know, or longer for their dream. You know, you look at Abraham and Sarah. I'm thankful that I don't have to be, what was it, 95 or something like that. I'm going to have to check my biblical reference later. And waiting for us to have a kid that late in life. But so again, this is just a video that's dedicated to God and to glorify him and to thank him personally for giving us this blessing. So a lot of people kind of been asking us, so you're going to stay where you're at? You're going to stay at a Short Creek Dream Center? And Gigi, are we going to stay here?
Yes. God didn't say you're going to stay there till you have a baby and then you're going somewhere else. No.
Right. No, we're going to stay here very much.
Have a little missionary baby.
Yep, I've seen other missionary families do it. They just, strap a little baby Bjorn to them and they go and do the work. So, of course, when the baby gets here, we'll take some time off and things like that. But yeah, we're still very much planning as of right now, until God tells us otherwise. We're going to stay in the mission field. We're going to stay here at the Dream Center, and carry on with what God has called us to do. So we very much would appreciate your support. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and do it for the baby.